verse.
Every time I leave my house, I can't go nowhere without my sword. Every time I leave my house, I can't go nowhere without my sword. Hey, praise ye the Lord for the sword. Every time I leave my house, I can't go nowhere without my sword. Hey, one more time. Every time I leave my house, I can't go nowhere without my sword.
How y'all doing? I'm Officer Absalom, man. At ease, man. Hey, so before y'all leave, I want to just touch on one quick thing with y'all. Now, you said something about that you was free, right? That you thought you was free. You want to know why we think that way? Give me that in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Right.
I want to show y'all something, man. The reason why we think that we free today is because we have been conditioned to think that way. We look back in our past and we see all the atrocities that happened to us, and we think because we got a little leniency now that we're not in those same conditions today.
We was forced here.
Exactly. How we free? We were first here. We was never literally let go. They only changed our ownership from the slave master or the slave owner on the plantation to the government. That's the only thing that happened with the Emancipation Proclamation. Read what you got.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. But thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So we got to understand and remember that we are holy people unto the Most High God. Right. We are not blacks. We are not niggas. Right. That's what they called us after we came off those slave ships. We got to get out of that mindset, stop thinking about that. Because when you look at our brothers, when our men look at one another, they see what? A black man. They see a nigga. When our sisters look at the other sisters, oh, she thinks she better than me. She thinks she this. She thinks she all that. Why do we think that way? Because we've been conditioned to think that way since slavery. That's right. We got to recondition our minds by putting this Bible on to remember that we are a holy people. That's to be holy means God separated us from all the rest of the world. Read what you got.
Teach, huh?
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
So God said he chose us to be special unto him.
That's right.
We got to start carrying ourselves in that manner. Read.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Not equal to. Hey, wait, Dominique, let me talk. I'm talking to you. I'm dealing with your statement real quick. Just real quick, man. Let me deal with your statement. Because I want you just to walk off, and then everything we just taught you just go to the wayside, bro. Yeah. This truth right here. This is how we gonna come out of the conditions that we living in.
That's right.
It starts with you.
Right.
It starts with you.
Right.
Y'all change. The people around y'all gonna change.
That's right.
If y'all don't change right now, if y'all don't get this word and start applying it right now, then y'all stood here for nothing. Y'all stood for nothing. And the brother was bringing out earlier. Y'all, the bombs is coming. Judgment on America is coming.
Right.
What you gonna do? You gonna go to another country? The bomb's going that way too.
That's right.
The only way to get saved from our iniquities, the only way to get saved from the bombs is if God Himself come down and save us. Right. Let's say for instance, man. Say all blacks came together right now. We got guns and we started trying to fight against the white man. What would happen?
War.
What type of war? Would it be a winning war? It wouldn't be winning. Why not? Because they own all the resources. So we run out of bullets, what we gonna do? Go back to them? We can't, well, my point in bringing that out is we can't save ourselves. There's no way we can bring ourselves out of this. There's only one way, this Bible right here. Give me that in Matthew chapter 17, verse 24. I want to show you something right now. Listen to, the prophecy going to happen. It's already been established. What we gotta do is change the way we live. What we gotta do is change the way that people see us. We gotta be the lights to the world, like it says in Matthew chapter 5. But give me that. I want Matthew chapter 17, verse 24.
Gotcha. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 17, and verse 24. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter. And
so they that received tribute money. The Romans coming around taking tribute. What's tribute? Who knows what tribute was? You know what tribute was? It's taxes. It's taxes. So they come into Christ, or they came to Peter and they was coming to him to get taxes from him. Read.
Okay. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, doeth not your master pay tribute?
So he's referring to Christ. He was talking to Peter. He said, don't your master take tribute? Don't he pay taxes? Read.
He said, yes. And when he was come into the house, Jesus prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon?
So now Christ is asking Peter a question. He said, what do you think, Peter?
Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute?
So whom do the rulers of the earth take custom or tribute from? Who do the rulers take? Like right now in America, who do the rulers of the earth, or who do the rulers of America take tribute from? Like, who do they take taxes from? They take it from us. Yeah, we're the ones getting taxed right now. Yeah, we get taxed. What did Donald Trump say? He said he don't pay no taxes.
That's right.
Have to pay taxes.
Right.
They find loopholes.
Right.
The rich that run this country, they find loopholes how to not to pay the taxes because they're the ones in power.
Right.
They're the ones that they know how to come and get around those things.
That's
we,
right.
We, the blacks, Hispanics on the streets, we don't know how to get out of taxes, right? We don't know what we got to do to stop paying taxes because it wasn't meant for us not to pay.
That's
it's
right.
meant for us to pay. Read it again.
What thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute?
Read.
Of their own children or of strangers?
So Christ was asking Peter, who are the Romans right now in power? Who are they taking tribute from? Or who's paying the taxes? Is it of their children? Of their family members? Read.
Peter said unto him, of strangers.
Of the strangers. Who would be the strangers to the so-called white man or to the so-called nation of Romans?
Bring it out.
Us, a whole other nationality. That's what Christ is saying. That's in red, right?
Yes.
These are Christ's words. He asked Peter, who are they taking tribute money from? Peter said of the strangers. What did Christ say?
Jesus said unto him, then are the children free.
So he said, if you pay taxes, are you free? Are the children free? No, because why? We're under the rule of somebody else.
That's right.
That's what we read in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, what it says. We're supposed to be above all people on the face of the earth.
Right.
Blacks and Hispanics, right now, above all people on the face of the earth.
Right.
No, they not, right? Why is that? Because we did not keep the laws of God.
That's right.
We did not keep God's commandments.
Right.
We're running around here doing what we want to do. We're running around here destroying our temple. We're running around here. We don't listen to nothing God says to do.
Bring it out.
And then we wonder why when all we can do is march down the street a couple blocks before we start fighting with each other.
Right.
What they've been doing this since back then? Like, how we were supposed to know what our 10 commandments is if they took that from us?
You're supposed to know right now. The prophets are on the earth right now. Give me that in I think it's Jeremiah chapter 44 verse 4. I want to show you something. I want to show you something real quick, sis. Look, this is how you're gonna know whether or not we are in captivity, whether or not we didn't keep the commandments. This is how we're gonna know. We are in captivity, yes, but this is how we know. 44 and 4.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44 and verse 4. Howbeit, I send unto you all my servants, the prophets.
We are the prophets back on the earth today. We are rising back up in order to teach our people who they are according to the Bible. So he said, I send my prophets.
Rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate.
So he said, do not this abominable thing that I hate. Did he go over Deuteronomy 22 and 5 with you? The officer before. He didn't? What about you, sis? No, you just walked up, right? What's your name?
My name is Lavette.
Lavette? I'm Absalom Lavette. What's your name? Aisha. So let me show you something real quick. Give me that in Deuteronomy chapter 22. He said, do not this abominable thing that I hate. The prophets are supposed to come out here and let our people know what God hates and what's abominable to him.
Right. That's
so
right.
that we can come back to him. Because he's the one that fights for us. He's the one that keeps us. He's the one who brings us to the top or he brings us low. And it's not just about like how they teach in Christianity. I'm saved. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. It's not about you. It's not about selfish people. It's about the nation. The nation that he chose to place his name upon.
That's right.
He chose to place his name on the 12 tribes of Israel right here. He chose to put his name. Israel means
Prince of the power.
Prince of power. That means that we have power with God. Meaning that the things that we teach in his name, that is our power. He gave that to us.
Right.
He chose us. Remember, he said we're holy unto him. But read what you got. I want to show you something. Read. This is one of the laws that are abominable to God.
Deuteronomy 22, chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So what is that going into?
Homosexuality.
Yeah, it could be going into homosexuality, but like make it more plain for me. Transgender or what else? What else? That too, but what else? What do transgenders do? They cross-dress. They cross-dress. They take from the clothes that if they're a man, they take the man's clothes off, put on women's clothes.
That's right.
If they're a woman, they take the woman's clothes off and put on man's clothes. Okay?
That's right.
So now, I'm going to show y'all something. This goes deeper than that. Read it again from the top.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. So what are some women's garments that men should not be wearing today that they wear? Bras, panties, what else? Wigs. Makeup. What else? Heels. When y'all go into a bathroom, right? Into any of these businesses or whatnot, you see the men's bathroom and the women's bathroom. What's the difference between those two pictures? There's a dress. There's a whole dress in a woman's bathroom,
That's right. That's right.
So the men wear dresses. They're not supposed to wear that, right?
Right.
So now that we're established what the men should not wear, what about the women? What should the women not wear that men wear?
What you trying to say? Women don't. The word saying that women ain't supposed to wear pants.
Bring it out.
The word. Read it again. Let's see what the word's saying.
Bring it out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, and verse 5.
All praises.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
You said, what did you say?
I said, why I said because we're mighty?
What is that you said? You said, what?
Royal or something?
Yeah, because we're mighty and we're royal, right? Like the princess in the
England.
queen of England and
Right.
whatnot. Is she walking around with cargo boots on and cargo pants?
Nope.
And is she wearing all that? What's she wearing? Why? Because that's royalty.
That's right.
Y'all princesses of the Most High God.
That's right.
The God who made the planet Earth, put the stars in the sky, had the sun follow his order, says that y'all are royal. Y'all are princesses. But they have y'all out here dressing like what? Because this was taught to y'all.
I don't know where my man
You see?
Lord forgive me.
Lord's not going to forgive that right there.
Bring it out.
Lord, read what you got.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44, and verse 5. But they hearkened, verse 4. Howbeit, I sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, rising early, and sending them, saying, Oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate.
He said, don't do the abominable thing that I hate.
That's
if you
right.
turn around and you do it anyway, you still hate God.
Right.
That's what you show. You can't say, well, just forgive me. I'm going to word anyway. I don't give a damn what you say, Father. Read.
But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods.
So give me that in, what is it, Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 8?
Gotcha.
I want to show you something. God says these things for a reason. We're out here trying to save the lives of our people. The reason why we're out here and everything's all out of order, all confusions, all in our streets and in our communities is because we refuse to deal with each other according to order. We don't deal with each other. That's why when a black man sees another black man, he's more inclined to shoot him than if he sees a white man walking down the street.
Right.
There's inner hatred in there because we do not do what God said to do. But read this. I want you to see this, sis. This is a judgment that God was going to place on those when he comes back who are not dressed how he ordained us to dress from the beginning. Read.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children.
So he said the day of the Lord's sacrifice. What is the day of the Lord's sacrifice, sis? Judgment Day. Judgment Day hasn't came yet, right? We still waiting on Judgment Day, right? So he said the day of the Lord's sacrifice. Because what happens when they sacrifice in the Old Testament? What was they doing when they were sacrificing? They were killing animals, right? The blood was being spilled. So he said the day of the Lord's sacrifice, which is future prophecy, when he comes back, more blood is going to spill. That's what we're trying to show y'all. The reason why we got to come back to God and his laws, statutes, and commandments, because when he comes back, if you're not in order, your blood will be spilt. You're going to be the Lord's sacrifice. Read it again.
And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
So all such as are clothed in strange apparel. So according to God, according to Deuteronomy 22 and 5, what's strange to God? The clothing.
Bring it
the
out.
clothing that we wear.
Teach, y'all.
Give me that in Sirach chapter 17, verse, I think it's 13. I think it's 13. I want to show you, when God came down and gave the laws to Moses, and Moses in turn gave that to us, that was a gift from God himself. That was our heritage that he gave us. We're just going to say it right here.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 17, verse 13. Their eyes saw the majesty of... Verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage.
So God gave them the knowledge and the law of life for a heritage. What's a heritage? Like what? Culture. I like that. Lineage. So what is the so-called black man and black woman's culture and lineage here in America right now? What was a black man's and a black woman's culture or heritage before?
Don't know.
We don't know, right? Guess what? That's what we're out here to teach y'all.
That's right.
The culture and the heritage was what? When we came, like even when we came over here on the slave ships, what were the women wearing? They not have that. They don't have that sign.
That picture's at the bottom.
Is at the bottom? I'm trying to find where the sisters are. The dresses. That's not here. It's not here. But back in slavery, we got there are pictures. You can look at it on your phone. We got $1,000 phones.
I don't have a $1,000.
Yeah, we got $1,000 phones. Well, you go look on the computer. You can find pictures on the internet. When you go back into slavery, you look at women. What were they wearing? They were wearing dresses, right? This is a new thing in the earth where they have y'all wearing pants and stuff.
Right.
Like, you gotta understand. If you you gotta understand one thing. If you like put on combat boots and you got the medals and you place all that stuff on, you strapped it on, what are you getting ready for? What's your mindset gonna go?
Okay, well let me ask something. Who said that was what they told us to wear? We wear pants because we want to wear pants. Not that.
That's not the truth, sis. You say you wear pants. That's what you were taught.
You're reading to us, but we weren't taught to wear pants. We wear pants.
Amelia Bloomer in the 1950s, Amelia Bloomer, a white woman, with her feminist movement, came to the so-called black woman, and she taught y'all to wear pants.
That's right.
To wear shorts.
Teach
A
y'all.
white woman, not the black man, not the black Messiah. That's the problem with our people right there. Give me that now. Yeah, give me that Proverbs, man.
Bring it out.
Give me that Proverbs 25, bro. Our people hate God. That's the truth. That's what y'all saying right now about walking away. Y'all saying I'm gonna wear my pants and I'm not gonna deal with God. I'm not gonna listen to a word He says.
Proverbs 25.
This is the spirit that y'all have on y'all, man. Y'all hate y'all people and y'all hate y'all God. But in the day of the Lord's sacrifice, y'all will be punished. Y'all will be judged.
The wicked flee when no man pursue it.
The Bible says the wicked flee when nobody is in pursuit. Nobody's chased y'all away. All we said is y'all gotta stop putting on man clothes. Stop cross-dressing. Stop being manly. Why are y'all being manly? What do y'all got on y'all zippers? What are y'all unzipping?
Bring it
Y'all
out.
not unzipping nothing.
Right.
That's a problem.
That's right.
Our women want to be men.
Right.
They don't want to follow the role that God gave to them.
Right.
Y'all supposed to be in submission. Y'all supposed to be submitting to the man because y'all supposed to be in order. No war can be won with the women in the front.
That's
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.